What is good, y'all? Welcome back to the Airport. Welcome back to a brand new video. We are here. We are back. And finally, a dub. Man, it's been so long since we got a dub, but we have finally our first win in what feels like 2 weeks now, bro. I know it's probably less than that, but it feels forever since we got a dub. I think since Washington, we haven't won a game since Mexico City. So, yeah, I mean, coming off a 3-game losing streak, it was very imperative that we won this game. Obviously, we were very shorthanded, did not have Jimmy, did not have who else? I think it was just Jimmy, but Jimmy's enough to say we were very shorthanded. He's our best player, but yeah, it was really scrappy. We were able to pull out the W. I want to shout out so many guys because a lot of people really stepped up tonight. Like, I understand there's been frustration for, most of the season with some players, but I do have to give some players love because tonight I did see a lot of improvement on some fronts. And primarily, before we get into it, make sure y'all leave a like, subscribe, comment down below. Y'all know what the drill is, man. Let's get right into it. So listen, first of all, Tyler Hero is playing absolutely out of his mind right now, bro. He is definitely playing like an all-star. He's amazing this season. Like, I can't even lie. He's been our best player by far. Not even been close, to be honest. He's been leading us every single way offensively. His defense has been pretty good this season as well. I can't lie. I mean, I just have to give him his flowers more than anybody else because, man, he has just put us on his back every single game, just tried to will us to victory every single game. And listen, maybe it's time to start going in the direction of youth. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Jimmy didn't play tonight. I'm not saying we're better without Jimmy. I would never say that. I want to respect the man who has done miracles with this franchise in the playoffs. But if the pattern continues where, when Jimmy's back and the team is still slow and it's not really looking good for a championship, window this season, then maybe you move away and you go younger and you start worrying about getting some more draft capital and building for the future. Because Tyler Hero, you have a perfect piece there now. Our cornerstone, Bam Adebayo, or supposed to be cornerstone, isn't having the best season at all. I mean, he's having a terrible season. Tonight was, again, a really bad game for him. I'm not sure what's going on. I really don't know. I think a lot of it is just him being in his own head. Missing those 2 free throws down the stretch is not really Bam-like. I mean, he's usually money in that situation most of the time, but it just shows you that it's just this season it's been really rough for him, and there's no excuses really on him. He needs to figure it out because if it were not for the heroics at the end, we would have lost that game, and a lot of it would have been on Bam, and especially those 2 free throws on the stretch. But most of the game, he was just invisible. So Hero, amazing. Bam, not so much. I do want to give credit to Spo. The lineup change tonight really did help our team. Nikola Jovic off the bench was a huge breath of fresh air. In the starting lineup, he just looked a little lost out there, and I even mentioned it a few times where it's not really his specialty to be like a catch and shoot player. He is really good with the ball in his hands, and he proved it today. He had a couple of really good possessions, where he set up his teammates and also got his own. And that last play down the stretch was all Eric Spoelstra, and Eric Spoelstra really just absolutely won the Heat this game with his late game, adjustments and his rotations. It was spot on tonight. Spo had a really good game. Obviously the play call down the stretch, but even more than that, he was just awesome tonight with every single thing. I mean, that's just why he's the best coach in basketball right now. And you got to love the defensive effort that we showed tonight. I feel like the starting point and the aspect of the game where this team is always going to lay their hat on should be the defensive end. That's just been their identity for so long now. It's really been like who they are. Like, for years, it's been, when you think about Miami Heat, you always think about defense. You always think about being a defensive first team. And this season, our defense hasn't been great at all. We've, especially last game against the Denver Nuggets, we allowed so much. I think we allowed 120 plus points to them. And that's going to be really tough to overcome, when you allow that many points to a good team. Tonight, it was so much better. We kept the Timberwolves, who are, still a really good team. And I believe we're playing at full strength, under 100 points. and the intensity was there, the effort was there, the starting lineup rotation change helped, and we were just playing really hard. I felt like we were just, I feel like it's more of like a energy and effort thing more than anything, because I think the personnel is fine defensively. I feel like as a team, we just have to play harder. And Denver, we were just too loose, and we just weren't really, playing with intention defensively. But tonight, it was much different. We were able to just lock in defensively, play, out of our defense, and get stops, and then score off of our stops. And that's kind of how this team is best able to score. In the half court, they're not the best half court scoring team, but when you are playing against set defense all the time, it's really hard to be a good scoring team at all, because if you're not getting stops, the Timberwolves are easily able to get set back on defense every single time. But tonight we were getting stops. They had to run back on defense. We were finding guys. We were shooting the ball well. We had a lot of guys contribute. Duncan Robinson was really good in the first half. Khalil Ware came in and gave us a good minute. Same with Pelle Larson. I thought Haywood Highsmith was good tonight. I thought he was really, really good tonight. Josh Richardson was not great, and I'm honestly not really sure why Spoelstra has not just switched his minutes over to Alec Burks. I would have loved to see Alec Burks play over Jay Rich tonight. That was probably the only mistake I saw Spo make. Jaquez was good. I thought Jaquez provided some good energy. He missed a few shots, and he wasn't as aggressive offensively, but when you add a guy like Nikola Jovic into the second unit, he's going to demand the ball a little bit, because that's his role. That's what his role should be. Should be a ball handler off the bench. So, Jaquez wasn't really having the impact offensively, but defensively he was really good. I thought the whole team defensively played really well. I mean, I can't really say anybody struggled defensively for us. We all kind of pitched in and played a good defensive game against this Timberwolves team who has a lot of weapons. So, in all, I mean, you just have to give credit to Spo. The defensive game plan was really good. That was the key. And we're done with the tough part of that road trip right now, which is good. We were able to get a win, which is really helpful. Like, it's so much better to be, 4-6 or 4-5 rather than 3-6. Especially because the Eastern Conference right now, like, it's not really, going that great for a lot of teams in the East. Apart from the Cavs and Celtics, like, everybody else is either 500 or below in the East. So, like, we could have been so much better than what we are right now. Like, right now we're 4-5. We could have been, instead of 4-5, we probably could have been 7-3 or 7-2. If we had closed out games we were supposed to be closing out. Like, we blew so many double-digit leads, and we almost blew one tonight. That's something we have to work around, is the third quarter, and blowing the double-digit leads is something that we've been doing all year, and it has to stop. That's the one thing where I'm like kind of worried about going forward. It's like, how will this team work on holding on to leads better? Thankfully, we were able to withstand the Timberwolves run in the third and get the game closed out. But it's going to be tough in the future, if we were to keep blowing leads every single game. Now, we have a game against Detroit on the 12th. And I think that is a NBA Cup game. So that's like the first NBA Cup game. And just to recap, there are groups of 5. There's 3 groups of 5 for each conference. And out of the groups, I believe one team or 2 teams might qualify for each group. And our group has us, Detroit, Indiana, Milwaukee, and Toronto, if I'm not mistaken. But it might be completely different teams, but I believe those are the teams. I know Milwaukee, Indiana, Detroit are in it. I'm not sure if Toronto's the last team. It's a bad team for sure. I know it's a bad team. But yeah, Detroit is the first game that is on the road. Detroit has, surprisingly, they've been playing pretty well this season. They just lost a nail biter to Houston, but before that they had won 3 straight. So that's by no means going to be a cakewalk. Like, I know people are going to think we're going to go steamroll them, but especially if Jimmy's not going to be able to play, it's going to be tough. You're going to have to, still play hard against that team. They have a new coach. They're playing really good defensively right now. So, yeah, it's on the Heat to capitalize off this win, man. We don't want to do the same thing that we did against Washington and, drop 3 straight after we win a game. We want to capitalize off this win. We want to, get on a streak. We want to get on a streak and get back to 500 and eventually above 500. So Hopefully, we get some progress on Jimmy Butler's ankle. But besides that, players deserve a well-deserved. Did they get a well-deserved? I think 2 days off before the game, or sorry, 1 day off before the game against Detroit. So, rest up and get ready for Detroit. But great effort tonight by the guys, man. Played super hard. That's Miami Heat basketball in a nutshell. Just playing hard, pulling out the W, being gritty, being feisty. I love the energy from the team. And I think that's the biggest reason we won is because of the energy. The energy was amazing. And, shout out to Tyler, All-Star this year, man. All-Star Tyler Hero campaign. We got to start it right now because we know it's a popularity contest. So, Heat fans, I'm calling every single one of y'all to just go and make sure y'all spread the word of Tyler Hero being an All-Star because we need to see this man at the All-Star game with the way he's playing right now. So, shout out to Tyler, shout out to the Heat, shout out to Spoelstra for drawing up that clutch play, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll see you later as always. Peace.